Today we're going to be working on this lawnmower. It does not want to start, so it's got gas in it and we've got spark. Those have been checked. So go ahead and see if you can start it. So that should have started. When we pull the cord very slowly, it feels like there's not enough compression. So first thing we're going to do is check compression on this and see what we've got. So we've got the pressure checker on here to see what kind of compression we've got. Go ahead and crank it about 5-6 times, as hard as you can. If the engine is healthy, we should see somewhere between 60 and 80 psi. You need at least 50 psi in order for this engine to start by pull cranking it. All right, that should be good enough. Looks like we have about less than 35 psi, I'm guessing. So that is not enough compression for this engine to start by normal means. So I'm going to have to pull the head and check the valves and see if one of the valves is not seating all the way or something like that. So let me get that done. All right, we got the head off. The head gasket is still on there. It's not damaged. I think we can reuse it. But we see the valve here. This is the exhaust valve, and it's a lighter color than the intake valve. So we suspect there's something weird going on there, and when you put your finger on there and you twist it, that should not be easy to turn like that. So this valve is not sealing, and that's the problem. That's why we don't have good compression. The intake valve is solid. It doesn't spin. It doesn't turn. So this is our problem, and that light color is a clue. All right, so what is happening here on the flathead Briggs and Stratton engines? The what is the word? The spacing between the tabbets, the lifters, and the valves has to have a little gap there so that this will stay pushed down by the spring that pulls the spring down. But as you use the engine, and this engine is at least 25 years old. I think this was an early 2000 lawnmower. With use, these valves pound and pound and pound against this cylinder, and it wears the seat and pushes. There's actually a seat behind this that can be replaced. The proper repair will be to replace the seal, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to pull this valve and grind a little bit off the end so that it will shut all the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to pull the muffler, and I'm going to have to pull the valve cover that's behind the muffler and check the gap and confirm that there's no gap. But I mean, it's obvious here that because this is turning, that is the problem. There needs to be a gap so that this will seat completely. Let me get this taken apart. Okay, so I got the muffler off and the valve cover off, and you can see the valves here. I've got a feeler gauge, and this is the thinnest feeler I've got. So I'm going to try to see if I can even get that in between there. In between there, so that means that valve is all the way down on the lifter already. So the solution is remove this valve and grind off just a very small amount from the tip of that valve and put it back in. Now, in the old days, Model Ts and the old engines back then, they were all flatheads, and that is the Achilles heel of a flathead, is the valves. They wear into the cylinders. Model Ts had steel cylinders. This is aluminum, so this is going to wear even quicker. But in the old days, they didn't have adjustable lifters. So what they had to do was what we're doing now. They would take the valve out and grind it down a little bit and slap it back in. So not a new idea. It's just it's just what you do with these types of engines. Other than that, a flathead design is great, very dependable. That's just the one thing about them. All right, so there's the end of the valve that we need to grind down just a very little bit. Ideally, the gap or slash or whatever they call it between the lifter and the valve tip here needs to be between 6/10 of a thousand and 10 thousandths. So 6 thousandths and 10 thousandths, I guess, is the term. If you get more than that, it's not the end of the world. You'll just hear a little engine noise, but it's a freaking lawnmower. Who cares? So That's what we're going to be doing. You'll see that it's already kind of scraped up and stuff because it's not supposed to be touching the tablet, so I guess it just kind of wore over time. All right, let me get ready to do that. See how that looks. Okay, so after grinding, it's a little strange looking, so I'm going to try to smooth it out with the file here. Not exactly an even cut, but I don't guess it really matters. So I mean, if you totally screw this up, you have to buy a new valve. But even a new valve won't fix your problem. You'll have to grind it down. So best to just get the old one to work. Yeah, I didn't grind that very evenly, but I don't think it's going to much matter. All right, I think that's good enough. Let's put it in and see what we got. Okay, I've got the valve back in, and it feels like it's 6 thousandths. So that's within spec. Feels like 6 thousandths to me. So that is a good spec. Now, I don't have it perfectly even, so it's going to wear and probably make the gap a little bit worse before it gets better. But this should run now. So also our finger test with the valve, the exhaust valve fully closed, you can't turn it now with your finger. It's nice and tight, so that should make a good seal. Let's put her back together and see if we can start. Okay, we got the lawnmower all back together. We're going to do a compression test on it and see where we're at before we try to start it. All right, start pulling, Thomas. Pull as hard as you can. All right, it's not going up anymore. Let's take a look at it. It is slightly above 50, so that should be enough to start it. I would have liked to have seen 60 to 80.
Probably not
strong enough. But it might improve as the motor runs. I did not grind the valve at all. I just ground the tip, not the head, to make it better. Also, I didn't touch the input, the intake valve. But yeah, 50 volt or 50 psi, that should be enough to start it. So let me get this back together and we'll give it a shot. Okay, we've got the spark plug back in. It's got gas. Let's see if it'll start. Guess not. Let me make sure I've got gas in there. I thought I did. Yeah, there's gas in there.
Is the valve for the gas open?
It doesn't have a valve, and it doesn't have a primer either. This thing is supposed to just start when you pull on it. All right, well, let me give it a shot off camera. I'll be back. Okay, so we tried to get this to start, and it would start with starting fluid, but I didn't realize this. I didn't notice this when I had the carburetor part, but the choke, the valve for the choke is missing a chunk. That's why it's not working. This is not able to start cold because the choke is not choking. The hole in this butterfly valve is just letting air go in, and that's why it's not starting. So I need to replace the carburetor, I think. I don't think I can replace just the butterfly valve. And how it got broke is beyond me. I don't know. Let me zoom in. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. But there's like half of it's gone on the left side. And you see, that's supposed to be all the way shut, but there's a big gaping hole there. So that would explain it right there. Okay, so I'm going to need a carburetor. Okay, I put a new carburetor in this. The old carburetor had a weird hole in the choke butterfly valve, but that was stock. That's the way it's supposed to be. So there must be something else in that carburetor that's clogged up or something, preventing it from running. So decided to just replace the carburetor with a full choke model. I replaced some other things. I also installed a fuel valve so that we can now shut the gas off and run the gas out of the carburetor, so that as it sits over the winter months or whatever, it won't need cleaning in the spring. All right, so I'm going to see if my son can start this now. Go ahead. Started first pull. First pull. Wow, and that runs great. So he's going to try it again. Go ahead. Wow. That's really good. We're gonna have to run the gas out though. So this lawnmower, the biggest problem was the low compression, in my opinion. The carburetor, yeah, that might have let it run, but with 35 psi compression only, it would be hard to start even with a good carburetor. So I think we're done with this, and this is one of my coworkers' lawnmower. If he wants it back, he'll get it back. Otherwise, I guess we're keeping it. All right, well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.